Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang. Adrian is off. Tonight, allegations of harassment, bullying, and verbal abuse against Canada's Governor General.
There was a lot of crying. I saw colleagues cry.
Sources accuse Julie Payette of berating staffers, leaving them in tears. We'll take you inside Rideau Hall, a CBC News exclusive.
Mr. Speaker, it's just disgusting.
The Prime Minister back in the House and back under fire.
The Public Service determined that the We organization was the only one.
A top bureaucrat gives his side of the story. Canada's COVID cases on the rise again.
We could backslide and return to a situation as we had several months ago.
As provinces push ahead with reopening. And Edmonton CFL football team changes its name.
Inuit are not mascots. We're not monikers. We are a people.
After years of backlash, the reckoning in pro sports. This is The National. We begin with a CBC News exclusive. Multiple claims of employee harassment in the office of Governor General Julie Payette. Our investigation uncovered an exodus of employees from the office, which civil servants once saw as a prized destination. The Governor General's is Canada's oldest public office and remains the symbolic representative of the British Crown in Canada, someone even prime ministers must answer to at times. Ashley Burke spoke to several people with direct knowledge of the workplace conditions, but we've concealed the identities of people speaking out and revoiced their actual words because they fear for their careers.
I can assure you we're all in this together.
This was the day everything changed for the staff of Rideau Hall. A new boss, a new way of doing things, and a new set of problems.
This has gone from being one of the most collegial and enjoyable work environments for many of the staff to being a house of horrors.
CBC News spoke to a dozen sources with direct knowledge of the work conditions at Rideau Hall. Many are still in the public service. Some are former employees of the office. They outlined a common set of behaviors. Governor General Julie Payette belittling and berating employees, humiliating them in public.
There was a lot of crying. I saw colleagues cry.
It got so toxic, this employee quit. She compared meetings with Payette to interrogations. Others witnessed Payette throwing people's paperwork and calling it shit.
It's almost hard to pinpoint because it wasn't always insults and vulgar. But there was always that level of criticism. And I would say in almost every meeting, someone was berated. There was, I'll go as far to say, a victim at every meeting.
This is not the impression most people have of the former astronaut. Famous for space travel, sources claim it was travel abroad that brought out the worst in Payette. On the return flight, she'd hold long debriefs. Employees were told, sometimes for hours, the many ways they had failed her. And it's not just Payette. Sources accuse her longtime friend and official secretary, Assunta De Lorenzo, of bullying staff too. This public servant says De Lorenzo screamed at him.
They will bully you until you either agree or leave.
Personal stories backed up by a government survey. For 2 years in a row, Rideau Hall ranked among the worst in the public service for harassment. In a statement, the Governor General's office said, "We deeply regret this reporting, which is in stark contrast to the reality. Since the beginning of the mandate, no formal complaint regarding harassment has been made." All of this raises questions about why there isn't more accountability at Rideau Hall. Other than the Queen, the Prime Minister is the only one that can raise concerns with Payette. But other than publicly stating that everyone deserves the right to work free of harassment, Justin Trudeau's office isn't saying much more. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, the Prime Minister faced something of a hostile atmosphere in his return to the House today. Opposition members hammered him over the We charity controversy. Evan Dyer looks at those fiery exchanges and where the investigation goes next.
After taking Monday off, the Prime Minister went into question period with a target on his back.
So gross and disgusting that this Prime Minister keeps using the pandemic as an excuse for his corruption when they're pushing $300 billion worth of deficit out the door. They will stop and take the time to reward their friends. That is the essence of this Liberal Party under this Liberal Prime Minister. I don't even have a question, Mr. Speaker. It's just disgusting.
The Public Service took a look at the ways they could deliver that program and determined that the We organization was the only one that could deliver that program as ambitious as it was for this summer.
Today, Canada's top public servant appeared to back that version of events. and also told the committee investigating the summer jobs program was so large, up to nearly $1 billion.
I could not imagine how the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance could not have been involved as part of this process.
But Ian Shugart also said he wasn't suggesting they should be the ones to make the final decision on giving we the contract.
I make no judgment whatsoever about the Prime Minister's comment on his non-recusal.
Last week, the Prime Minister admitted he should not have taken part in the decision to give taxpayer money to an organisation that gave more than $300,000 in speaking fees to his mother and brother. Shugart also told MPs the public service had not looked into WE's financial structure or property holdings, which have drawn scrutiny since the contract was announced.
To the best of my knowledge, officials did not engage in detailed scrutiny of the financial affairs of the organization.
The Prime Minister hasn't yet agreed to appear before the committee, but on Wednesday, the Finance Minister will and is expected to face more tough questions. And next week, MPs get a chance to question the heads of the WE charity, Craig and Mark Kielburger. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, turning now to the COVID-19 situation across the country tonight. There are several spikes in cases that have health officials worried.
We need to be mindful that, that success is fragile, that it only takes a few sparks. We could backslide and unfortunately return to a situation as we had several months ago.
Ontario reported 203 cases today. That's the highest number in weeks, though some of those are believed to be previously undeclared cases. Quebec reported 180 cases. That's 30 more than yesterday. And in Alberta, 141 new cases today, up 44 from yesterday. Now, that trend in Alberta is raising serious concern, especially in a hotspot like Calgary. Carolyn Dunn shows us what it's led to.
Just to arrange an appointment for a COVID-19 test, the lineup is at least a couple of hours long. You do what it takes to wait it out. Franz and Darlene Haynen have a VIP to visit next week.
Grandson number 7 just showed up.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll even be able to hold him, but it's nice.
As cases in Alberta spike, so does demand for testing. 14,000 requests yesterday alone, the highest number ever.
Concerned enough, I want to make sure that I'm good just because I'm going to see some relatives at a province next week. So based on that, they're more susceptible than I am.
Last week I went out, I went downtown, so figured it was probably best to come here.
To try to stem the concerning uptick in cases, Calgary City Council is considering making masks mandatory in all indoor public spaces and public vehicles.
And I would like to not have to lock down again. And if masks help us to not lock down again, I think that's pretty compelling.
Despite the surge in cases, Alberta is forging ahead with reopening schools full-time in the fall. The province believes a return to school is what's best for students and parents.
The bottom line is that young people, especially children, are at low risk of infection and very low risk of severe health outcomes from COVID-19.
The best way to have safe and healthy schools this fall is to start the school year with a low count of cases in the population.
Giving Alberta about 6 weeks to crush a curve that is headed in exactly the wrong direction. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
Well, Ottawa reported 43 new COVID-19 infections today, the most it's seen since May.
Most of the cases are occurring in sort of informal settings, people's homes, a cottage, where people are gathering in large numbers.
More than 20 of those infected are said to be under the age of 30, but officials say the cases aren't related to the recent Stage 3 reopening. A 22-year-old is in jail on PEI for allegedly not self-isolating after testing positive for COVID. He was arrested on Friday at the resort where he was supposed to be in quarantine, staff indicating that he wasn't following public health measures. The man faces charges of committing a common nuisance and uttering threats. Well, BC has been on an upward trend with a spike in cases over the weekend. Greg Rasmussen looks at the impact in a province that has been held up as a leading example in containing COVID-19.
The concern is someone, somewhere, spreading COVID-19 without realizing it.
We do have a possibility of having explosive growth in our outbreak here in BC if we're not careful.
One trouble spot, the Okanagan, a tourism playground.
The majority of these cases in Kelowna over the last couple weeks have been in 20 to 30-year-olds.
Contact tracing shows more of those testing positive have been widening their social circles, visiting more people in more places. For those hosting summer gatherings, a warning.
We have to keep track of who's there, and somebody's got to be responsible for that, because if something happens, that allows us to do what we absolutely have to do, which is trace the contacts and break the chains of transmission.
The tourism industry says it's taking precautions.
But we cannot control the behavior of every single person.
For experts modeling the pandemic, it adds up to trouble.
The chances of somebody who's in that infectious phase being on vacation or traveling for work or whatever is going to increase, and you're going to start to see the epidemic spread across the province.
In the parks and beaches, many are well aware of what's at stake.
The selfishness of the people choosing to go out and prioritize their summer plans over a global pandemic is actually staggering, and it tells you a lot about the priorities of the people around you.
With the U.S. experience perhaps the best cautionary tale for people here. Greg Rasmussen, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, some positive pandemic economic news. Retail sales shot up more than 18% in May, driven by cars and parts. But while it may look like a rebound, Peter Armstrong looks into whether that growth will hold.
Jenna Lamb has a carefully curated shop in Toronto's West End, just bursting with kids' gear.
DIY kits and crafts were really popular.
Just the kind of products you need to get the kids through a lockdown. She ramped up online sales, but still worried she may not make it.
Fear very quickly subsided because the customers came through and offered so much positive feedback and showed a lot of love.
As the restrictions lifted, customers returned and Lamb's store is thriving again.
We're still down, but the increase month to month makes it very promising. We're still a little bit short.
When we talk about retail sales, we're largely talking about groceries. Food sales are off the charts since COVID hit. In May, some pent-up demand led to a surge in sectors like auto sales. But those numbers also show how support programs like the CERB have kept many Canadians above water for now.
As we look forward, some of the programs, the income support programs, they'll end. We'll start to have to pay some of those bigger bills that we were able to defer. And yet not everyone will be working.
Still, some businesses remain closed. Some are simply going under, and no one has a clue what a second wave will look like. Already, we can see how consumer behaviors have changed in such a short period of time. E-commerce surged by an unprecedented 112% since this time last year, and that doesn't even include American online giants like Amazon.
Physical activities.
Retailers like Lamb know that online surge may not last, but she sees the trend, and she's already getting DMs from customers near and far.
They ask, for instance, do you have the Olliella Dinkum doll in Sprout? And if you don't, can you get it and when? I'd rather support you.
Lamb says customers are deliberately choosing to support smaller, independent shops like hers. For now, she's just happy to have them coming back. Convincing them to stay will be the fight for another day. Peter Armstrong, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, south of the border, a marked change in tone from the U.S. president on the coronavirus. Donald Trump now appearing to acknowledge the severity of the situation there. The country is heading towards a total of 4 million cases soon. 141,000 people have died. Some states are still seeing a jump in COVID cases by the thousands each day, including Florida, Texas, and California. Today, Trump brought back the coronavirus briefing. But as Katie Simpson tells us, some say it has less to do with the pandemic, more to do with politics.
Down in the polls, with Election Day inching closer, a more subdued president seemed to finally embrace the obvious.
It will probably, unfortunately, get worse before it gets better. Something I don't like saying about things, but that's the way it is.
In a marked change of tone, Donald Trump mostly shied away from boasting about his handling of the pandemic. He backed off his previous false claim that testing creates COVID cases and even encouraged Americans to wear a mask when physical distancing isn't possible.
Whether you like the mask or not, They have an impact, they'll have an effect, and we need everything we can get.
Trump also said he'd be okay with additional funding for testing after one of his coronavirus task force members, who was not invited to the press conference, raised concerns.
It really is patchy. It isn't as uniform as we would like.
Today's briefing was far less combative than the marathon sessions Trump held at the start of the pandemic, which ended abruptly in April after he suggested UV rays or bleach could be used to treat COVID.
Is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
The comments made one of his scientific advisors cringe and empowered his critics.
Every time President Trump takes the podium at one of these briefings, he's a threat to public health.
Trump has been urged to take on a more serious approach to the pandemic after scenes like this played out across the country. A woman in Montana appears to cough on a couple in the parking lot of a grocery store after she was confronted about not wearing a mask. Trump's change in tone comes as his popularity is dipping. Multiple national polls have him trailing Joe Biden, his Democratic presidential challenger, and Trump's handling of the pandemic is a factor. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
Trump, meanwhile, offered kind words to Ghislaine Maxwell today, the British socialite alleged to be Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice.
I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well.
Maxwell pleaded not guilty last week to federal sex trafficking charges. She has denied allegations she lured underage girls for Epstein to sexually abuse.
We will not retreat. We will continue to take the appropriate action to protect our facilities and our law enforcement officers.
A top U.S. Homeland Security official defended the use of federal agents in Portland to crack down on anti-racism protests. Donald Trump has threatened to send agents to other major U.S. cities, but the mayors of New York and Chicago have promised to take the president to court if the same tactics are deployed. Last fall, a black man from Mississauga, Ontario, died after being tasered 6 times by police. Tonight, his family is speaking out for the first time, desperate for answers about what happened that night and demanding police accountability. Shanifa Nasser takes us through their story.
Yeah, this is Clive again.
30-year-old Clive Mensah used to share messages online about life and faith.
The truth is, if any change can be happening on this earth, it's up to us. We want justice to prevail.
Now it's his family with a message, forced to pick up the pieces after he was killed.
Clive was a very cool and kind guy, gentle guy.
Mensah died in November after being tasered by police in his backyard. They had been called just after 3 a.m. for reports of a suspicious male. Ontario's police watchdog says there was a struggle. His family wants officers held accountable.
You are to serve and to protect, not to serve and to kill.
After George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer, Mensah's family has been reliving their own nightmare.
Clive's memory came back and I said, I was experiencing it. It wasn't easy.
Now they're pushing for systemic change within policing.
Had it been, he was a white boy, would they kill him? Would they tase him?
Mensah struggled with mental illness and had brushes with the law before, convicted in a robbery in 2015. But whether he was having a mental health episode the night he died is unknown. CBC News has learned police tasered Mensah 6 times.
That may not be indicative of the best way to de-escalate somebody who has mental health issues.
And paramedics were delayed by cruisers blocking the street. CBC News has learned 3 Peel police officers were involved that night, but only one has spoken to the police watchdog. 2 others have so far refused, with his family still without answers. CBC News questioned Peel Regional Police about whether race contributed to Mensah's death. The response, quote, "We expect every one of our officers to conduct themselves in a professional and ethical manner at all times."
It's uncalled for.
But his family wants more.
We want a very tangible reason, not any feeble excuses kind of reasons.
And says they'll fight until they know why Mensah died. Shanifa Nasser, CBC News, Toronto.
An update on a story we brought you last night. A Regina man, the well-known founder of a mental health organization, has resigned in the wake of multiple sexual harassment allegations. A CBC News investigation found 13 women who alleged they were sexually harassed by Jim Desmarais when he worked as the general manager of 2 Earls restaurants. He called the allegations baseless and untrue. Well, a new report says Moscow meddled in the 2014 Scottish independence referendum. But up next, did it stop there?
Who is protecting the British public from interference in our democratic process?
Also, Edmonton CFL team dumps its derogatory name.
Well, we might relate to Inuit values. That doesn't mean we can continue to use this name.
Plus, before COVID, this MLB offseason was consumed by a World Series-sized cheating scandal.
Baseball has no integrity. Baseball has never had integrity.
The dark cloud hanging over the Diamond as they return to play. We're back in 2. For more than 12 hours today, a dramatic standoff was underway in Ukraine, and it took a message from the president to end it. An armed man seized control of this bus, holding 13 people hostage. During hours of negotiations, he shot at police, threw explosives out a window, and let 3 people go. But it wasn't until Ukraine's president took the extraordinary step of speaking to the man by phone and agreeing to post this message online promoting the animal rights documentary Earthlings that the armed man surrendered to police. All of the hostages were freed, unharmed. Well, the British government is taking heat for how it's handled the threat of Russian interference, from Brexit to the Scottish referendum. As Renee Filipponi tells us, a new report says Moscow's meddling is the new normal.
It's a report looking into what influence Russia had here, but it's the British government that ended up in the hot seat.
The government had badly underestimated the response required to the Russian threat.
The report focuses on the threats from cyber attacks, disinformation, and the power of Russian oligarchs living here. It says the UK is a major target for interference. The report points to credible information Moscow meddled in the 2014 Scottish independence referendum. Then questions why it says the UK government actively avoided looking for interference during the Brexit referendum. And because they didn't look into it, it's unclear what, if any, role the Kremlin may have played.
So the question is who is protecting the British public from interference in our democratic process? Well, in a nutshell, we found no one is.
Downing Street has faced criticism for holding back this report for 10 months. The Foreign Secretary met with his U.S. counterpart today and denied the government underestimated the Russian threat.
We've got a long period recognising the enduring and significant threat posed by Russia to the UK, including in relation to cyber. Russia is a top national security priority.
Buying up influence, buying politicians, working through business, universities.
This expert says Russia's goal is to disrupt its adversaries any way it can.
To set both sides against the middle, to encourage extremism, to fan the flames of discord and conflict in society, which they've done exceptionally successfully in the United States.
The UK government says there won't be an inquiry into the Brexit referendum. For its part, the Kremlin is dismissing the report as Russophobia, saying it doesn't interfere in foreign elections. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, London.
Well, still ahead, Edmonton CFL team drops its name. What tipped the scales after years of calls for change? Plus,
we're walking down the sidewalk and people call out cheaters.
Baseball reckons with a cheating scandal as the season gets started. Next.
Three-two is lined to left, and that's a hit.
Well, for baseball fans, surely this is a beautiful sight. After being shut down for months because of the pandemic, Major League Baseball exhibition games are now on, and Thursday, another big day, the regular season begins. But of course, it won't look regular. There will be no fans in the stands, or no real ones, I should say anyway. And crowd noise will be piped in via the sound system. Now, of course, even before COVID, Major League Baseball was dealing with another crisis, a major cheating scandal. And that cloud still hangs over the game. Jamie Strachan delves into how, in a season like no other, that could play out on the field and among fans.
March in Florida. Spring training. Baseball's annual rebirth. In West Palm Beach, young Houston Astros fans clamor for their heroes' attention.
I hear you.
Okay, that's enough. Making him upset.
The COVID storm was just days away at this point, but there was already a dark cloud over the Houston Astros. Indeed, all of baseball. They had cheated their way to the World Championship in 2017 and had just been caught.
Give that World Series back!
In a sport with a rich history of cheating, where getting an edge is a badge of honor, what the Astros had done was different.
The Houston Astros are world champions!
Their success wasn't all the result of hard work and skill. They had cheated. An investigation by Major League Baseball revealed a scheme high-tech on one hand, but also astoundingly low-tech. Over the course of hundreds of games, including the playoffs, the team used a camera in center field to decipher what pitch the catcher was signaling. The information was then relayed to the dugout, where a trash can was banged to indicate what type of pitch was coming. You can hear it in this sequence of pitches from a game with the Toronto Blue Jays.
I mean, if you knew what pitch was coming, you could take just about any minor league hitter and not only be a major leaguer, major league all-star, if they knew every single pitch that was coming. So that's how big of an advantage it is.
Like everyone else in the baseball world, former big league pitcher Michael Schwimmer has followed this story with great interest. When we visited him in Washington months after the story broke, the one-time Blue Jay explained how the Astros had betrayed the game.
If you're cheating with technology, there's nothing you can do. You know, if I'm tipping my pitches because of my glove, I can fix it. But the relay from the dugout to the hitter based off of a technology feed that you have no control over, that is what ruins the integrity of the game to me. These are all our different data sources.
The scandal was also about money, and that's what really interests Schwimmer. His business now is about providing data to gamblers, who are now openly embraced by professional leagues, including Major League Baseball. Schwimmer says a lot of money likely changed hands improperly.
So if you look at all the Astros games that they won that you think they would have won because of cheating, you look internationally in terms of the market, in terms of how much money is betting on baseball games, you're looking at tens of millions of dollars.
But none of the cheaters were punished, all in exchange for telling Major League Baseball what they knew. Instead, the Astros coach and general manager received 1-year suspensions. The team owner then fired them both.
You know, it's tough. You know, they cheated. And, you know, just I don't agree with the punishments. You know, the player's not, you know, getting anything.
Baseball players rarely say anything of consequence and almost never criticize a fellow player. This was different.
So now anyone who goes forward and cheats to win a World Series, they can live with themselves knowing that, oh, it's okay. I think what should have happened was, you know, the commissioner vacated their championship and then we move forward.
The Astros' stilted apology only made things worse. Infielder Alex Bregman looked like a hostage.
I am really sorry about the choices that were made by my team, by the organization, and by me.
And I knew that it was never going to happen again.
Florida Judge Lou Schiff and law professor Bob Jarvis literally wrote the book on baseball's history of rule breakers. They may have written a book together, but the two old baseball fans, one a Yankees fan, the other a Mets booster, rarely agree. Jarvis argues the Astros' manipulation fits into a rich narrative of baseball cheaters who are rarely punished.
Well, baseball has no integrity. Baseball has never had integrity. If you look at the early history of baseball, it's a very dirty game played by thugs. You go to 1919 and the Black Sox scandal. Again, clutching pearls and talking about the integrity of baseball, there is no integrity in baseball.
I think integrity is important. As a season ticket holder for a team, as a lifelong baseball fan who goes to lots of games a year, if this continues, I'm going to lose interest. I'm going to lose interest and say this isn't worth my time.
But when baseball decided not to banish the Astros, Schwimmer says it will now be the players carrying out justice.
I think it's dangerous, very dangerous, because what I see is pitchers that I talk to, that I've played with, you know, they know that when you have the ball in your hand, you can you make your own justice. And when that happens, you feel like you've been wrong, people have been cheating you. I mean, you can make a hitter pay for that.
Opposing pitchers in spring training administered that baseball justice. The Astros seemed to almost expect it and took their licks.
Oh, breaking ball. The timing was absolutely unfortunate for him as he takes the hit by pitch on the
Before the season was cut, Vegas bookies set the over-under for the number of times they would be hit by a pitch at 84, a number rarely reached during a season.
Off the shoulder.
If you start making rules that if you throw somebody inside the first time you hit an Astros player, you're thrown out, now you're creating rules to help the cheaters. And if you don't do anything about it, now it's player safety.
What the Astros did was about more than wins and losses. Fortunes were changed, livelihoods affected, and dreams eclipsed. Some pitchers, victims of the Astros cheating, never pitched again at the major league level. One of those pitchers, former Blue Jay Mike Bolsinger, filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the Astros. Amidst all of the hatred surrounding the Astros, their fans rallied around them in Florida.
Is it going to be a hard team to cheer for you?
Absolutely not. It's going to be easy. I've been an Astro fan for 50 years, so I don't plan on quitting today.
We're walking down the sidewalk and people call out cheater to us. But it's like defending your children. That's the way I look at it. This is part of my family, and I'm defending my family.
For the rest of baseball, seeing the Astros back in action was salt in an open wound.
So when you get a group of ball players that are now cheating the system, you react by saying, well, then why should I be a fan of this game? Am I really seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing? I don't want to see a magic show. I want to see a baseball game. I want to come out and I want to see them compete at their own level and use their best efforts and not to be told, well, here's your next pitch. That's not a ball game.
As usual, Bob Jarvis thinks his friend is overreacting.
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, when was baseball really popular? When Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire back in 1998 were hitting a home run every day, and I mean, it looked like a video game. That's what fans want to see. Nobody was punished in the steroid era. The only punishment was handed out by baseball writers by not voting in certain people into the Hall of Fame.
As Major League Baseball returns amid the ongoing pandemic, it will be different. The Astros won't have to deal with angry fans. Games will be played in empty stadiums.
Hit 'em! They'll steal your signs!
There will be less media scrutiny, reporters now not permitted in the clubhouse. Or will fans just be happy to have baseball back and forget that the 2017 Houston Astros Field of Dreams was really a field of cheats? For The National, I'm Jamie Strachan in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Now, there is another way MLB history is being made this year.
An absolute baseball whiz when you talk to Gabe.
Back in January, Alyssa Nakken became the first female coach in Major League Baseball after being hired by the San Francisco Giants. On Monday, she added to that, taking over at first base to become the first woman to coach on the field. Next on The National, Edmonton CFL team ditches its name.
Inuit are not mascots. We're not monikers. We are a people.
The tipping point and the reaction. Next. Well, the NBA allowed media onto the league's court in Orlando today. Prominently displayed across the floor, Black Lives Matter. It's a sign of support for the movement in the wake of George Floyd's death at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer 2 months ago. The NBA season resumes next Thursday. Now, along with combating anti-Black racism, pro sports organizations are also facing intense pressure to stop using Indigenous names and symbols. And now, 1 week after the NFL's Washington franchise announced it is retiring its name and logo, a Canadian football institution is also changing course. Rafi Boudjikanian is in Edmonton tonight.
It's a name Edmonton's team has worn for 7 decades. But today, senior management of the storied CFL franchise announced the beginning of a new chapter for the team, starting with a new name.
To those of us who spent our formative years bundling up to sit in the stands and cheer on our team in below zero temperatures, the name Eskimos meant tough, resilient, never give up.
But for many, especially Canada's Inuit, the name was offensive and hurtful. Inuit leader Nathan Obed has long fought for change. He says today's announcement was overdue.
Inuit are not mascots. We're not monikers. We are a people.
The franchise resisted calls for change for years. But today, the team admits times are changing.
Our most recent opinion research shows plainly that views are shifting quickly.
Those shifting views have included major sponsors. Bel Air Direct had told the team the name needs to go, and Boston Pizza even ended its partnership. At least one of the team's players agrees.
There are terms that my people were called at one point, and I know if it was a team named that, it would be offensive to me.
For now, the franchise will be known as the Edmonton football team, but it will keep the Double E logo as it launches its search for a new identity. Obed applauds Edmonton's new mission.
I've talked to a number of people who I was teammates with or I coached in hockey, and it's great to see that my peers and those people who are fellow athletes were some of the first people that came to me and said they were so relieved and happy that the name was changing.
A new journey for a veteran club looking toward the future. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Edmonton.
Well, when we come back, an inside look at a unique and emotional fundraiser for Toronto's Sick Kids Hospital. Plus, the family bringing some Lord of the Rings magic to a Saskatoon neighborhood. Stay with us. Even before the pandemic, Toronto's Hospital for Sick Children was under pressure. With an ICU that's outdated and overcrowded, the task of raising enough money to expand, monumental. Last November, David Common showed us an unusual fundraiser that for participants was both heartrending and eye-opening.
Emergency in room 14. Emergency in room 14.
Yeah, you have a pulse? No. See, I continue the CPR. I'm just gonna update the team. Get the defibrillator, please. I also want Peppy Arresto, so it's 10 mic per kilo.
It takes just seconds after the alarm sounds for the pediatric team to pour in.
Are you okay? Do you need to cycle out?
In the nation's largest children's hospital, one of its tiniest patients is in deep distress.
Guys, see, I continue the CPR. I'm just gonna update the team.
This is the ICU at Sick Kids. Or a mock-up of it anyway, a near-exact replica of the real thing.
And what we're able to do is manipulate the mannequin to respond exactly how it should respond.
And you'll never guess how we found it. It showed up on Airbnb, where a bed costs nearly $2,500, the real cost of running the ICU for just one patient a day.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Hello.
Those who fundraised, like this group from IBM, help the hospital financially and in return get a close-up experience.
It's a tough experience. You're going to hear sounds, you're going to see things, you're going to start thinking about things that perhaps you've never thought about.
Dr. Lennox Wang runs the real ICU just a few hallways away. He set up roles for each of us participating. That includes me.
So these use cards of a kid, you essentially could be Jordan 5 from Brampton, Ontario, not even an hour from here. And the story for Jordan is Jordan had a fever, shortness of breath, ended up here at Sick Kids when it got worse, and now it's been diagnosed as left side pneumonia.
So why go through such an elaborate exercise? This is about change. The real ICU is just as cramped. 4 patients to a room, their parents squished in, more than one guest at a time, mom and dad for instance, nearly impossible. Then you add in the medical teams and inevitably the need to deliver bad news in a space that's far from private. Even in a mock-up, this is hard for any parent.
Well, they put the headphones on, and I can understand why, because being so close, there's obviously privacy concerns.
Mr. and Mrs. Patel, as you know, Jordan's seizures have been progressively getting worse. After looking over his most recent imaging numerous times, they have revealed an advanced brain tumor. If you want to tell any relatives to come see Jordan and say goodbye, then you should soon. I am so very sorry.
Oh. It's tight, it's hard. I mean, we are shimmying beside. There's no space bubble. There's no personal space.
You know, between all of these announcements and everything else, obviously it would be very hard to keep your mind straight, get sleep, and yet, you know, it's something else watching the staff trying to do gymnastics around one another, working in a really tight, small space to try to pull this off, basically to try to keep a kid alive.
While the child patients in the ICU are often sedated, they and their parents can still be exposed to trauma. One is about to happen here.
Emergency in room 14. Emergency in room 14.
Harvey just started slowing down.
Yeah, you have a pulse?
No.
Now you can please give it and give it a 5-second push after.
Okay.
Continue chest compressions.
Okay, so it looks like we're still in VFib Oshri.
Yeah.
So let's carry on.
Please tell me when you're ready for it.
This is terrifying, but it's also working. A realistic portrait that has helped drive a big jump in donations. All part of the plans to build a new hospital, one with more privacy. And frankly, room for moms and dads to be there together.
Can we do a blood pressure?
Dr. Michael Alice Moga knows just how emotionally draining this can be.
What are some words that jump out to people about what you experienced tonight?
Say intense.
Intense.
Say surprising, shocking. I don't know how people are not just tripping over everything, really. I'm just amazed.
Sick Kids is a world-class institution. We deliver world-class care, but you don't realize that we're doing it in an environment that it's not even like it's neutral. It actually hurts us and makes our job more difficult as opposed to helping us every single day.
The aim is that will change. No one wants to be in the pediatric ICU, but if you have no choice, the hope is to make it more comfortable for patients, parents, and staff. David Common, CBC News, Toronto.
And an update to that story. Ground was broken last fall on a new patient support center. It's being called the first step towards a new hospital for sick children. Donors who gave $1 million or more were there, including the family of developer Peter Gilgan, who gifted more than $100 million. Okay, check this out. A cozy little hobbit hole in Saskatoon.
Once we had made the little mailbox for them, we said, you know, if you write a letter for the hobbits, then they'll answer.
Next, a couple that's committed to bringing a bit of the Shire to Saskatchewan. Well, this may look like it's part of the Shire, but this hobbit hole is actually in Saskatoon. It was meant as a creative front yard landscape, but it's bringing a neighborhood a lot of joy, and so that is our moment.
Started as a landscaping project, what we were going to do with the front yard to create something more interesting than just grass.
And Mom was saying, oh, it's kind of like a hobbit hole. So next thing you know, it's a hobbit hole.
Early on in the COVID, we had actually watched the Hobbit movies. We looked at the different images of the actual construction done in New Zealand, and we wanted it to have its own unique characteristics. We've had quite a number of children leaving letters for the Hobbits since the Hobbits have moved in, that they have their own little mailbox.
And we said, if you write a letter for the Hobbits, then they'll answer in a couple of days.
It's amazing how much Hobbit genealogy we've had to go and research just because of the letters that have arrived.
I'm appreciating how there are so many other fans out there.
The excitement that the kids have had in the neighborhood has really been just a delight.
Well, it is a delight to see that as a grown-up even. And I love the fact that, they mentioned that they had to do some research into this. It's not even like they're huge Lord of the Rings super fans. They just had this idea and they saw how it caught on and they just decided to keep on doing it. And the possibilities are endless, right? They say they have big plans for Halloween, for Christmas. Imagine all the, mini snowmen, pumpkins. It's gonna be great. That's The National for this Tuesday, July 21st. Have a good night.